Hey, how you doing, knucklehead? My name is LP, or LP Chazzy Chaz, or whatever the fuck you want to call me. And welcome to Encounters. I think this is the 4th episode, and this is gonna be a kind of a do whatever I'm doing on RuneScape. You don't have to watch it. You can listen and go play RuneScape yourself or something. This is kind of a commentary only video. You know what I'm saying? But this is gonna be kind of a follow up to hold on. A follow up to the aliens thing I was doing last episode. I was talking about how I truly do believe that there are aliens, and it was kind of silly because I was just kind of saying the stuff that was on the top of my head. This time I kind of got a little bit more prepared, if you will, and I have a few things that I would like to tell you and show you. And I'm trying not to act like this is a religion or anything. But logically, I'm thinking all the time about this, and I truly do think, ooh, a star. Might as well fucking mine. Ah, I don't have. Hold on. I'm gonna go back and get my pickaxe. But yeah, I truly do think that aliens have been here in the past, and there's so much fucking evidence. Like honestly, there's a ton of fucking evidence to essentially prove that aliens have been here in the past. And I'll get into that in 1 second. Let's get all this stuff. Whatever. Okay. I guess let's just fucking jump right into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is something that has to do with the Bible. If you're a Christian or religious in any way, shape, or form, this is not meant to offend you if you don't believe that this is true. It's just looking at it in a different perspective. In which case, I mean, you can do with everything. You can look at something in a completely different perspective. It could mean something completely different, and that applies to everything, including the Bible. So basically, there's this book in the Bible, and if you've read it, whether you believe in God or not, it's a pretty good story. It's called the Book of Genesis, and I think I'm not like a huge. What level is this star? It's level size 2 star. Well, that sucks. I'm not, a Bible expert or anything, but I'm pretty sure it's the book of how everything was started in the Christian world. And there's kind of this elaborate, thing of the Book of Genesis, and it's, God, the 7 days, everything like that. The story that everyone knows, that of how we originated, or so that's what, that religion believes. And then there's another book, but it's not in the Bible. It's a separate book. It's called the Book of Enoch. And basically what that is just a kind of, it's an expansion of the book of Genesis. So if you read the book of Genesis in the Bible, it's in the Bible, and it tells you pretty much how everything started, how God created everything. I mean, what this is, it's the book of Enoch. And essentially, I can't remember what it is, but I think it's Noah's Ark. The guy Noah who when God flooded the world and Noah built a ship and everything. Everyone knows that story. Well, at one time in the book of Genesis, I think, his father's mentioned, and his name's Enoch. And basically the book of Enoch is kind of going into his father and stuff. And some things that are very peculiar about that book is it tells about a few groups of people, and one of the groups is the Sons of God. That's exactly what it's called. That's a quote. The Sons of God. It's from the Book of Enoch, an expansion of the Book of Genesis. This is not, I'm not making any of this up. This is real. The Sons of God were a group of 200 angels, okay? They were angels. They came down from heaven to, I think, create the world. They were also known as Watchers. They were the Watchers. So basically what they came down to do was to, breed with humans, and make, create the world, kind of how God created, all the stuff. I don't really know how that goes, but God created all this stuff. Apparently there were Watchers, or so, the Book of Enoch states, there were this group of 200 people called the Watchers. They bred with humans. That's how it reads, and their offspring were giants. Basically, what happened at the end of the Book of Enoch is the Watchers instructed humans with technology, and metalworking and that kind of thing, and God didn't like it, essentially. So this sub book, if you will, of the Bible called the Book of Enoch, it probably doesn't say it that obviously, but it does say that, and that's real. So the Watchers instructed humans with technology and metalworking, kind of defying God. Because I guess, I don't know if they had their own motive or what. And essentially that is why God ordered a flood and warned Noah. So I thought that was pretty peculiar, and I'm figuring it makes sense. You have God sends down a group of people to, whatever God may be. No one knows. Oh, I got a diamond. Wow, that's pretty cool. Whatever God may be, he could be a fucking robot. I don't know. I don't care. I don't think about that stuff. But it makes sense that if you were to send down a group of 200 people and kind of give them a goal, he wouldn't want them to teach humans too much if he created them, you know what I mean? And to me that totally sounds like God is an alien race who sends down a few colonies or something. They breed with the people down there, and then they teach the people down there too much. And then the world gets flooded because God or the aliens, that's just a theory. You can think whatever you want of that. But that's what it is. The second thing I want to talk about, and this is huge. This is absolutely immense to me. It's something that has never been explained before because it doesn't make sense at all. It's absolutely stupidly dumb that this exists, unless aliens are real. It's a group of really old lines, okay? And these lines aren't small. They're very, very big. It's called the Nazca lines, and if you've ever heard of these, you already know what I'm talking about. Essentially, I think it's in Peru, if I'm not mistaken. It might not be from Peru, but it's one of those countries that no one ever goes to. God, that was so fucking ignorant to say. That probably completely ruined this whole point. But the Nazca lines, essentially, I think it is Peru. I'm pretty sure it's Peru. It's in the mountains. And basically what it is, it's certain mountains completely have their tops just bulldozed into a flat plateau. And so there's one mountain that's like a regular mountain, and next to it, it's a mountain with its top completely cut off for no reason. And that's kind of peculiar if you think about it. On top of that, if you fly over that with an airplane and look down, you can see various art. And that's the only way I can really explain it. And what that is, it's spiders. I'm not talking about like, you could like the constellations in the sky. Oh, that's a spider. No, I'm serious. It's an obvious spider. It's an obvious man. It's an obvious bird. And the only way you can see these is from flying. And these are thousands of years old. So you have to think, why would people make these? Yeah, okay, they can make it because they want to express their creativity and make the biggest picture ever, but they can't see it and they can't appreciate it. So there's no reason whatsoever, why these lines would be there. On top of that, there's lots of runways, and when I say that, I mean loosely. But these mountains that have the tops cut off, most of them aren't for the drawings. They're for these long, flat lines, but they're not lines. They're lines if you look at it from really high up in the air, but if you go down, it's the only thing I can honestly think of to compare it is a runway. If you look at a modern day airport, you see a lot of lines, a lot of roads and stuff that are in straight lines for planes to take off and land. And that's exactly what the Nazca lines look like. So yeah, I don't know if that's derpy or not, but pretty interesting to realize that these thousands of year old things, they like what not only is it hard for humans with their tools at the time to make these lines, just like the pyramids. Apparently with the pyramids, they were the or let's I'm kind of going off topic, but I didn't even want to talk about this. But the ancient pyramids of Egypt, they were supposed to have made the Great Pyramid of Giza. It was supposed to have been made in 22 years. The Egyptian people would have spent 22 years making this huge pyramid. A lot of people don't realize this, but that pyramid isn't just a pile of stones. The stones are huge. These limestone and marble stones are so big. They're like the size of your bathroom. Like literally, I'm not kidding. They're huge. And to have made oh, my stars collapsed. Let's go to the next level. To have possibly made a pyramid in 22 years with today's technology to, you know, cut the granite or marble, I'm not sure which one I think it's granite actually, to cut it, to haul it all the way. There's no granite around Egypt, so they would have cut it somewhere else, haul it all the way back to Egypt, build it, somehow bring it to the top. You know, the higher you build, the harder it becomes. And I think the calculation is something like, I have no source from this, but the calculation is like if they were to do that in 22 years with today's technology, it would honestly take them 6 seconds for each block, which is physically impossible unless you can move at the speed of light. And there's a lot of fucking blocks in that. So 6 seconds a block, no, that's bullshit. So there's no way that the fucking ancient pyramids of Giza were made in 22 years with our technology, let alone their technology. So I don't know what you want to take from that. I want to show you some pictures, and these pictures are very interesting. So basically, this first picture, it looks, I don't know, to me it looks like an astronaut. I mean, all these pictures, they look like astronauts. I don't know what you personally, you know, think about it. You can think whatever you want about it, and it just, to me, it looks like an astronaut. If I told you this figurine was from 1000 BC, and it's a Japanese figurine from 1000 BC, I don't know if you would believe me or not, but it's true. A 1000 to 400 BC, which means that before Christ, it was 1,000 years before that, and it was Japanese. So that's insanity to me. That's huge. It looks like an astronaut to me. How could this have been made? What the fuck were they thinking? You know, a lot of people think art is pretty much why is no one mining this? Let me see what they're talking about. Dust counts. Okay, I'll mine this by myself. I don't care. But you know, when you make art, you think, you know, you see something and you want, like a painting, you paint a landscape, but you go to the landscape to see it. Just like these pictures of these statues and stuff, you make art of what you see. And what could they have seen to make this? And I don't know. Okay, next picture. This is a clay figurine on the left, obviously. It's a clay figurine, and it was found in Ecuador, predating modern sciences. And obviously it's compared to a modern day astronaut, and the fucking similarities are absolutely uncanny. This is insane. Like, what could they have seen to make this? This is ancient. This is an ancient piece of artwork, and what could they have done to possibly imagine this? You know, and this is consistent. Like, this is all the same, you know, almost style of artwork. And it looks like astronauts, and it's around the same. It's not around the same period, but it's ancient. And these people had no ways of traveling to, you know, to adopt each other's art forms and stuff. They had no contact with each other. So how could they have? Is this luck, really? I mean, come on. Could it be possible that they may have seen an alien? And I mean, is it possible? I mean, to me, that is the best explanation. Using logic, that is the best explanation, believe it or not. Alright, next picture. This figurine is old as fucking shit. It was found in the Ukraine, and it's around 4000 BC. So that makes it 6,000 years old. and it depicts a fucking astronaut. If you don't think that's an astronaut, then I would love for you to tell me what that is, because this is crazy to me. Like, I view these pictures and carbon dating and whatever kind of dating they use. It's not foolproof. I understand that, but it's reliable, you know, or they wouldn't use it. 4000 BC. This is 6,000 years old. This is an astronaut. What the fuck? Why did they make this? Next picture. This is made out of gold, and it's basically I don't know what you would call this, but I would immediately compare this to an airplane. Basically, because you see the fins, you see the vertical back fin. That's not in nature at all. You'd say, oh, it looks like a fish. It does look like a fish, and I agree with that. But the back fin is vertical, and that was made in modern aerodynamics. Sorry, I'm retarded. I'm getting excited, you know. But modern aerodynamics makes, you know, a vertical what a tail, is that what it's called, a tail fin? And basically what that does is it helps the airplane turn slowly without barrel rolling, and that's not in nature at all. And it's made out of gold. It's 1,000 years old. So basically around, what, the Renaissance, something like that. I don't know what you want to take from that. So again, I tried to I don't know. I'm still doing the star. I guess this is gonna be the whole episode. I was gonna do my kingdom. I guess I'll do that off camera. But I tried to, you know, compile some actual evidence. You know, I prepared a little bit, and I'm serious. This is not me being, you know, stupid and jokey like I usually am. It blows my mind to think about what could they have seen. Just like I talked about last episode, you know, you honestly, when people make art, they make art of what they see, and this art depicts astronauts. So my logic says they saw astronauts. You know what I mean? And even when I think, if you see an airplane in the sky and you don't know what an airplane is, you're gonna think it's a dragon. You know, that makes complete sense to me in any way, every way, shape, or form. You know, it's metal, so it looks like scales, right? It's, you know, it's fuel. It burns it. So the dragon breathes fire, you know. So fire comes out of, you know, the engine, or I don't know how an airplane works. I'm not a fucking goddamn technician or whatever. But and it has fins, so it has wings. You know, airplanes and dragons have wings. Dragons are like the fastest flying thing in mythology, and airplanes are pretty fast. I mean, if you look at an airplane and you look at a dragon and you compare the two, it's a very similar thing. And someone could have made that up, looking at an airplane, thinking, "Wow, that's a creature," you know. So yeah, I don't know what you guys want to think about that. What I can think is, holy shit, there's fucking aliens coming right now, and they're gonna kill me. Not really, but it just makes me think that, you know, back then there were a lot of aliens that may have visited. Is it possible to actually believe that? I mean, it's possible to believe that, but is it possible that that's true? You know, the fucking pyramids. Who could have made these pyramids? These figurines that I showed you. Who would imagine that? And these are all from around the world. Who would imagine these? You know, do they have some connection or something? I don't know. I blow my mind thinking about this, and I could talk about it for hours. But for now, I will see you guys next time on Encounters. Holy shit, this is exciting. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to finish this star, go do my kingdom, and continue about my day. Probably go swimming, actually. I really feel like going swimming. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you don't subscribe, like the video, or comment, because I hate you. I'm LP, and you're not. Goodbye.